Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing today? So for today's video, it's a long one, but it's a good one. 50 Fortnite tips and tricks that range from beginner to advanced. I know it's a lot, and some things y'all may know already, so I made a table of contents basically with timestamps of each tip that will be down in the comments. If this video some way helped you out, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn that daily notifications on so you guys won't miss a stream or video, and hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it.
Oh god.
The interaction glitch, when you can't pick up an item, edit a wall, or open a chest. Simple fix to this is just clicking your inventory button. Always harvest the furniture in your building so you can get that early mat gain over your opponents. Speaking from personal experience, the way I got better was I always landed populated places like Tilted Towers, Retail Row, Salty Springs, anywhere there's gonna be a lot of people. My saying is more fights equals more practice you get. Customize your HUD. Make a HUD where you could switch between your guns and build without having to take your finger off aiming and looking around. I don't really recommend using my HUD because that's exactly the opposite of what I just said. I recommend using a HUD like Adam X Legends where he uses his left finger to switch between builds and guns because it's just a lot easier to learn instead of my HUD, which took a lot of time and practice for me to get used to. Have reset building on. So basically what that does is whenever you take your blueprint out, it automatically goes to walls. You want this on because most of the time when you're getting shot at, you want to build walls first thing. Have turbo building on. Trust me, you want it on. You don't want to have to, if it's off, you don't want to have to just keep on tapping the fire button in order to build. That's just way too much. Oh, don't we just love those dudes who just keep spamming your walls with their LMGs and Tommy guns and P90s? Next time you encounter this, point your gun to the wall where where their head is about. You can see when the building's about to break. Make sure you aim right at their head and pump them right in the face and show them who's boss. Also, second thing that I could have done also in this, if I had traps, perfect way to just place down traps on your walls and immediately just easily kill them. Learning from your mistakes. So in this part, looking back on when I was fighting this squad, there's a couple things that I could have done differently. So right here, when I started getting shot and I realized that there was a full squad, which I only thought there was two. Right there, the way I placed my jump pad, I should have placed it when I was under it so it immediately just shoots me up and I could have gotten out of there and repositioned better. But since that didn't work, what I could have done differently here, which they were just spraying and just trying to get in my base right here. I knew none of these were my walls. I could have broken one of them quickly and then placed the trap, but now, looking back, I know what I could have done differently and done better. Watch streamers and learn from them. I really enjoy watching Daquan, Nick at 30, and Hammonds. They're amazing players, so when watching people like them, you learn what they do in certain situations and how they build and so on, so that when you get in those situations, you have an idea of what to do. I personally strive to play at that level, so I do my best to kind of imitate the way they build and stuff, and yeah. Be aware of your surroundings. When running around, you can jump to quickly look around your surroundings without having to stop moving. This is important because you want to be the first one to spot an enemy, so you don't end up getting sniped or losing health. When you absolutely cannot take any damage, you gotta learn to be able to block shots after taking your shotgun shots. when trying to retake high ground, you gotta make sure you put that ramp above you. You'd be surprised at how many people I see that don't do this and end up getting shot down faster or losing health for it. Another mistake I see is players building too far out, which ends up just them getting shot down and dying from fall damage. What I would have done to retake high ground or get high ground from someone in there, I would have done half of that. Also, a little thing you could do, but it is advanced and could take some time mastering, is adding a floor and a wall to your bottom ramps to make more layers your enemy would have to shoot to make you fall down. This would be good in a situation where the enemy has a jump gun or P90 or LMG and is just spraying down your ramps and you just can't get up. So doing this will allow you to easily get on top of them. In some situations where you just can't retake the high ground, the other player is just really countering you really well, or you're very low on mats, one thing you can do is just break down everything from the bottom and just have a fresh start. Ever need to get across Suit Lake quickly? Best way to do that, edit your pyramids to form that structure, and then you can get across Suit Lake diagonally with the least amount of the mats. Playground being out, it's easier more than ever to practice your standard builds, such as 1x1, double wall ramp, single wall ramp, and so on, or whatever build you want to practice. Make sure to be utilizing playground while it's out right now. But if you're watching this when there's no playground, what I used to do is I go Wailing Woods and just farm up there and do the same thing I'm doing right here. Use explosives in solo squads. Trust me, it'll make everything a whole lot easier. In this situation, I could have, if I had an RPG, which is RPG, if you find that, make sure you use that in solo squads. It's the best explosive to use. But anything could work, any explosives, but I just prefer using RPG. In this situation, I could have taken them out a lot faster. It's just, the kill time with RPG is just so fast. Pump or tack shotty? I get this question asked a lot. If you have to choose between just using a pump alone and a tack alone, I would go with the tack just because of its faster fire rate. Whereas just the pump alone, if you don't one-shot the enemy, you have to wait a lot longer than the tack to shoot your second shot. But if you find an AR or SMG, I highly recommend you use pump combined with one of those, as it is the fastest way to kill someone. If you hit your shots, that is. But if your aim isn't all that there yet, stick with the tack shotty for a while. Quick, easy, kill, and trump. Most of the time, players on the rooftop aren't ready for this. Ramping up will normally catch them off guard and get that easy kill. Touch sensitivity. I recommend playing around with this, starting at a low sense at 0.30 and continually go up until you can do a full 360 with one swipe across your screen and feels comfortable to you. So, especially with playground out, get used to your sense using that. Make sure to have auto mat change so when you're in the middle of a fight, you don't have to worry about it. Do not use auto fire. Trust me, you don't want to use it. It's unreliable. It will shoot sometimes out of nowhere when your crosser's really not even on the player, and it will just shoot when you're shooting your AR. It will just shoot uncontrollably, and it's better to use the dedicated shoot button. You can use tap to fire, but I think dedicated shoot button, my personal opinion, is the best option. If your device that you have is just not cutting it for Fortnite and you want to get better and are willing to upgrade for a better device, I highly recommend the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, which would be the best to play with, no FPS lag, and a large screen to see everything. But if you aren't looking for an iPad and are fine with an iPhone, then I recommend the iPhone 8 or the iPhone X, which I heard that it has the same graphics as the iPad Pro and runs just as smooth. When I first started playing, I would constantly switch to my build mode back and forth, just wiring my muscle memory, so when I get in fights, it's just an immediate action that I do and I don't even have to think about it. Same thing with swapping weapons quickly. Do this stuff when you're just running around. It'll help gradually. A cool little trick you can do to your enemy is boosting your ATK and launching it towards a different direction. As you can see, my enemy, he kind of stuttered looking at the ATK as it kept on going, so which allowed me to get all my shots on him and he didn't get any shots on me. Pyramid Peak. I highly recommend using these in scrims when you're trying to scout around the place. This allows you to look around you without the worries of getting shot at. When you're spraying down at someone with your AR, highly recommend that you crouch. Boosts your accuracy versus just standing straight up. In certain situations when you're going up against multiple players, it's best to not over peek for too long. So when you're going against multiple players and you're trying to spray down on them, make sure you only shoot for at least less than 3 seconds to avoid getting sniped or getting hit by one of them. And just peek from different angles so then they have to move their crosshairs in order to shoot you. When you're trying to heal, don't heal out in the open. Trust me, for past experience, when I've done that, I've gotten sniped all the time. Quick little thing you can do is just quickly put down a pyramid like so, and just like that, and you only wasted 10 materials. If you're not using the in-game voice chat, might as well just turn that off. With voice chat on in the game, the sounds can get a little weird. If you're trying to level up faster, the best way to do so, if you have the battle pass, squad up with 3 other battle pass users and you can all benefit from that XP boost from everyone. Always challenge yourself. If you're starting to find solos too easy, switch over to some solo squads, try that out. If you start getting a hang of that, try going against console players, and then after that, go against PC players, which is the hardest challenge. We all know these statues by the rift give us 100 bricks. But certain statues like this one has an extra layer to the top, and hitting this will give you an extra 100 brick. Running with your pickaxe out doesn't make you faster, so there's really no point in running around with your pickaxe, so have any weapon out just so you're ready at all times. Practice putting pyramids above people who ramp above you, because it will give you an easy trap kill, or if you're in a build fight, it'll slow down your enemy, which you will get the high ground on them. Key to getting high kill games is the rotation. So after wherever you land, you want to immediately rotate to catch where players will be. So if I were to land tilted, where I would want to go next is towards Loot Lake, kind of towards Lazy, because for sure people would go that way, and then if the zone is in like Fatal or somewhat, they would have to come down and there would be people there. And then second thing to high kill games is you want to look for hotspots. So when weekly missions come out, there's these missions where loot for chests or kill 3 people in this certain place. That in the first day of those weekly challenges coming out, a lot of people like to go to those places, and you can get a good amount of kills landing at those hotspots. If you ever find yourself misclicking pyramids when you're in a build fight, easy solution to this is you can easily edit your pyramids to become ramps like so. Some ways I like to use bounce pads is to launch right on them to just surprise them. Secondly, another way I like to use bounce pads is to get high ground like this. If you're low on health and you're trying to pop some heals but your enemy just keeps on shooting you, build multiple 1x1s so that they don't know which exact one that you're in, and you can pop those heals. When landing, you want to avoid mountains and land straight down towards the lowest part of the land. So in this case, if I was to land junk or anywhere near the ocean side, you want to land down, straight down in the ocean for the lowest landing. But if you're landing somewhere towards like tilted towers, I'd want to land straight down into the river. Have you ever pulled out your blueprint and quickly press the build button, but it wouldn't build. For some unknown reason, doing this too quickly won't let you build. You have to make sure there's like about 1 second between when you pull out your blueprint to when you can actually build. One way to bypass this is if you're pickaxing or shooting something and then you need to build, don't release your finger off the shoot button / build button, and you won't encounter this glitch. Since we do play on our mobile devices, we do get notifications, and that could interrupt us mid-game. So one thing to fix that is turn Do Not Disturb on and get rid of those notifications. Take your time with your pump shots. Don't worry about flicking and all that fancy stuff. Most players on mobile miss their first shots, and if you take an advantage of that, taking a little extra time to make sure your crosshairs are right on their head, you will win most of your gunfights. A good habit to get used to is checking for traps. As you can see what I'm doing, I always crouch before I enter buildings just to make sure there's no traps. And if you do end up finding a trap, you can avoid it by placing a pyramid and editing it. This can really surprise your enemy because they don't expect you to go through it without dying. If you notice you're losing FPS when you play, some things that can help it is make sure you have a lot of storage in your device. Another thing is you can turn low power mode on, or also turn your quality down to low, which can help out a lot as well. And lastly, make sure you have all your running apps closed. When you're playing, you always want to make sure that you're aware of where the zone is, the next zone is, and that you're in the zone. So in this case where I was not in the zone and the zone was closing in, with this guy, this complete default noob, he wasn't completely aware of the zone. He just kept shooting at me. The zone is right behind him and he's still not moving, trying to get away. Me, I could have taken the fight, but I could have taken damage by the zone. Smart thing I did here was just keep on running. I swear, if this guy's... Bro, the zone is behind you. What are you doing? Run! Take an ATK over Rift if you're going for high kill games. If you're given the choice, it's best to use the ATK over the Rift, because just with the Rift, you can only Rift to one player and get that single kill. But then you have to run the rest of the way. But with ATK, you can catch rotations a lot faster and cover more ground. Oh, I ran out of mats. No, the zone! Oh, you're trash. Woo! Finally, the last one. So lastly, I just want to emphasize that to get better at this game, you have to put the hours in. I've given you the tips and pathway, but that's only half of it. Now you have to go and actually put in the work. Keep in mind, I've been playing this for about 4 months now, and I'm still learning and practicing because I'm nowhere near as good as I want to be. So really hope you guys enjoyed this video, as this took me 12 hours to make. Yeah, I know I'm slow, so smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Coming alive. Heated and